It's deranged, royal fae. They'll act crazy all day. They'll apologize for the fail, but still scream and wail. It's deranged, royal fae. Yeah!
Hi. I'm back in the new temp cell. They found me and they threw me back in here. As you probably saw from Fierce Friday, if you even watched that, I literally just shaved my body, so it's not unnecessary. But yeah, so clean baby face. Obviously it's been a while since then because I got back from the camp on the 11th, and well, it's very clearly not the 11th when this is uploaded. Yeah, so I shaved again since then. Don't look at my hideous face! Don't! So this is kind of the guinea pig lab rat video, since I'm doing a very different setup. I'm not sitting in my usual place, and I've got a microphone now. So hopefully the audio quality is going to be so much better, but also hopefully I don't move around too much and disturb the mic. So it's going to be a balancing act. Also, hopefully the green side of my head's not going to disappear with the background, because it's actually a very similar color. Maybe I should just spend an entire video like this, and then you can see the ugly side of my face. I'm just going to be missing half my hair head. It's okay. Maybe I'll just slick it back into the mohawk. There we go. Let me find my rubber band. It won't stop the bangs from disappearing, but at least will help with part of my head disappearing. The shaves aren't green. Yeah, so let's hope that this all goes well. The new setup, the new mic, you know. I'm able to do this new setup now that I've cleaned or reorganized and stuff this room. It's a nice accomplished feeling. I've been just kind of resorting myself. I've hardly done my planner journal thing. Hardly been on a schedule, just kind of like I exist. But now I am making attempts to fix that, so I'm back with my family. Not the worst, not the best, but I've been making adjustments and trying to make things feel a little more home. I have a bed! I have a bed! Not a bed frame, just a mattress, but I have a bed! First bed I bought for myself. It's a very nice adult feeling to do. I'm not buying the bed frame until I move, so that there's a lot less furniture to be bringing back and forth, kind of thing. It seems reasonable enough. Right. Also, I'm so sorry. I should move a lot less. Hopefully this is going to be much better quality than just my phone's quality on its own. And also, it doesn't matter if I move close or farther from the phone, because you can hear me directly on me. I can't move far away from this unless I'm like this or I'm like this, you know? So it's going to be mostly consistent audio. I move a lot, so this is probably going to be... I might need to just have something else that's near me instead of on me if I move too much, if it shows up, the audio. My outfit's going to be very limited because I'm keeping most of the stuff packed, because hopefully by the end of the year I'll be getting go. So I didn't really see a point in unpacking the majority of my stuff. So yeah. Of course a lot's happened. I ended up giving Cappy the ultimatum before I left her camp, and it was terrifying. But we're working things out. What it sounds like to be... I found out that he was going on dates once a week, like a new person every week. And I'm like, God damn, boy, you a player. Like, damn. And I'm like, dishonest too, but like, wow, that's more than I've ever done. In the span of, he has done, I used to think it was just thrice, because I thought he just went on like 6 different dates in total since we've started this whole debacle. No, apparently it's way more than that. But when I thought it was just 6, I'm like, you've done thrice as many dates as I have in the span of you've done thrice as many dates in the span of 2 months than I had in the span of 2 years at a time. Like, I tend to just, you know, talk to a bunch of people and then, you know, get ghosted, maybe do some ghosting, or we just stop talking, like, mutually. And then maybe 1 or 2 people I'll actually meet up, usually some distance apart from each other, you know, sometimes maybe one after another. So like me going on the dates recently, like a month or 2 back to back with 2 different people was very rare for me. And the fact that I also like met them only a few weeks into talking to them, or even a week into talking to them, was also very rare for me. I usually like will be talking to the person like maybe a month or 2 months before meeting with them. Like my exes, that's kind of what happened. So yeah, it was like, oh, wow. I mean, first of all, good for you. You scored better than, I mean, I say scored. It's not like he was sleeping with them or anything, but it's just like, you've done way better than me. Like, you've gotten way more dates than I ever have. So if that boosts your confidence, that helps your ego, there you go. Hopefully that helps. I doubt it, though, because it doesn't feel like you've had that. It's just so confusing. He's so confusing. But yeah, so it sounds like what we're going to do is technically stay non-monogamous, but it sounds like he's too exhausted to keep this up. I'm like, yeah, bro, you were going on a date once a week? That is exhausting. Like, wow. Wow. Like, that, I mean, I know some people do it, but I can't even, it took me a while to even fathom the idea of doing more than 1 gaming session of people a week. I was like, once a week, yeah, that's fine. I can do that. So I had that social energy once a week. And then he was like, okay, Tuesday and Thursday. And I was like, you're going to game with people more than once a week? I need to close my window. The thing about where I live is there used to be orchards all around, and then they tore down some on this side of the street to make the houses. And we still had the orchards on the other side, and it was nice. And then they tore those down and put more houses, and then it was like, no! My mom especially complains about it a lot, and I'm like, you gotta think that it happened here first, and it's like, you can't be the exception, the special ones, you know? It was going to happen the moment they decided to take away this side. But basically, though, it used to be kind of this area that was like, people just kind of drove by, were used to it being non-residential, just being orchards, just being a free, you know, free real estate, basically just being able to just zoom. And so people still to this day zoom down the road like it is like it's a racetrack. People go very fast down the road, so it gets very noisy. Like, I'll be on video chats and stuff, or like voice chats, and people will be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah. So it sounds like we're mostly going to be non-monogamous, and for the most part, though, it sounds like he's kind of exhausted. You know, the ghosting, and just the dates get repetitive, and it's just like the same old thing. There's not much connections. He feels also kind of catfished a bit, where he's saying that a lot of them don't really look like the way they, you know, do in their pictures. Like, a lot of them tend to use pictures of them being, like, old pictures of them when they were much thinner, and now they're like twice that weight, etc. Not fat shaming on my end. I clearly like bigger bodied partners. But it's just more of the idea of them not being honest with their current look. And I'm like, to be fair, I use some old photos, but they're not like, I still look very similar to my old photos kind of thing. And not to be shallow, and like I said, I'm not fat shaming. I love bigger, I think I prefer bigger bodied partners over thinner partners, I've realized over time. But, I mean, Kathy is a bigger bodied partner, and I love, it's like hugging a marshmallow or snuggling, it's really nice. I really like bigger bodied partners because of that. But then again, I might only like this one person ever. But yeah, so I personally do think physical attraction is very important in a relationship. Sexual, physical, romantic, personality. is kind of incredibly important to make a relationship work. That is, and so with the sexual, like, that is if you guys are both allosexual, or you guys have like this kind of agreement if one or both people are asexual, if comforts and stuff. And then if you're a romantic, I'm not kind of talking about I'm not kind of mostly talking about romantic relations like long term. But if you have like a long-term sexual partner, then I do think it still is. I think it's very important that you are attracted to the person that you are having sexual relations with. But even if you're not, I think it is very important that you like being able to stare at this person, that this is someone you could just look at, because you might have to look at them for every day for the rest of your life. So I do think that it's not really shallow to have to be attracted to your partner. That's my own cup of tea. I don't have any tea. Oh my god, I just remembered I also like made a clip for before this where I had the teacup. And I was like, I'm not going to be dressed the same. I made that like a week ago or so. Okay, but yeah, I personally don't think it's shallow to want to be attracted to your partner. And if you're not attracted to bigger bodied people, that's valid. If you're not attracted to skinny people, that's valid. If you're not attracted to, you know, X, Y, or Z, that's valid. Just big old valid. I need to make like a rainbow valid thing. I say that, but I'm going to forget to do that, or I'm just going to be too lazy to do that. But just pretend. I still think it's not really super dishonest to use an old photo. I do think it is important though that you're very honest. Not very honest, but I do think it's important that you show people what they should expect, because you want someone who's actually going to be attracted to you. You want someone you're going to go on a date with and is going to want to go on a second date with you. You do not want someone who's going to look at your photo and no. They're going to look at who you are and be like, no, because then that person wasn't going to be worth your time in the first place. Like, that's how I kind of feel about being open about being trans or X, Y, or Z. Being open about being polyamorous or non-monogamous. You're not going to want someone who, if they knew that information, would have never given you the time of day. If they knew you were autistic or X, Y, or Z, that they'd be like, no, I wouldn't be interested. You don't want that person. You don't want to invest any time or effort in that person, because they clearly didn't want to invest any time or effort in you for what you were or what you are, or, you know, it's just it's just that. Yeah, it's just murder myself. And so that's why I was like, if he was intending to go long-term with any of these people, instead of just trying getting his ego boost, because like I said, I'm not sure just how much of it was an ego boost and how much of it was serious dating. Even that's still a little unclear. But if he was intending to go long-term and then he told them, oh yeah, I'm in a non-monogamous relationship or dynamic, bro, so many people are not okay with that. Yeah, so sounds like we're gonna be non-monogamous technically, but like I said, he's exhausted by it, so he's not gonna really be active on the apps, if at all. And he's kind of leaving it up to me. And it's mostly gonna be like a closed situation, like a closed triad or a closed quartet or whatever. Basically, we're not looking for solo partners, which isn't within my comforts. So it's almost like we're monogamous until otherwise. But basically, I'm only having my options open in his country, his city, or near his city. And I'm not like super actively searching. Like, I'll go on the apps once a day, give some likes, you know. On one of the apps, Hinge, because there's not really, unless you put it in your profile, there's not a way to say as a marker, I'm non-monogamous, I'm, you know, monogamous. So I personally do not like to be the person that messages first, in case they just didn't read that on my profile, you know, because I feel a little predatory almost. I don't want to, like, that's not quite the right word, but it's just one of those things where, like, I know that people wouldn't normally be okay with that, and so it's like one of those things where it's like, I want them to come to me to make sure that they are okay with that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that straight couple, that unicorn hunters, be like, hey baby, you into enjoying, being our third? I don't want to be that person. I'd rather someone be like, oh my god, you and your partner is cute, and talk to me like that. I had that a couple of times on Hinge, and that was nice, because it meant that they were aware of my situation. I didn't want to be the one that... And I'm very, very candid on it. I put it in, in text form, and I put it in voice form, because you can do a little voice thing. But with OkCupid, that one is a lot easier. There's people you put in your profile. You put in your options of things that... kind of like your sexuality, your eating habits, blah, blah, blah. That is an option. So I have actually left a feedback on Hinge saying, hey, maybe as a filter, or at least as like a little thing you can put, maybe you should put non-monogamy and monogamous, because I feel like I don't want to bother wasting time with monogamous people, and vice versa. I don't want no monogamous person wasting my time. I don't want no one trying to convert. It's like how when I put out that I was only looking for women on OkCupid, and some rando guy was like, well, how about a really open-minded, guy? And I'm like, don't waste my time. I'm not interested in men. I'm not looking for men. Go away. Shoo shoo. Don't waste my time. I feel that way if any monogamous person tried hitting me up and maybe even tried converting me. It's like, no. I'm not looking for anyone who wants to just be specifically my partner and have no intention to at least get to know Cappy. Like, even if they end up not dating Cappy, I want someone who's going to come into this realizing that there's a potential that I might be dating Cappy. But at the very least, becoming friends with Cappy. And I've said, I don't know if I'll ever truly be able to love anyone like I love Cappy, and so, I don't even know if this will follow through, if I could feel okay being with someone else, knowing I never would have that bond with them as I do Cappy. And I get, the important thing about polyamory is that you do realize your partners are completely different people. You do not want carbon copies of your partners. You want something you can have one of them that you can't have with the other one. Per se, I've always used the example of I could watch kid cartoons with Hummingbird, but horror movies with Kitty. So, yeah. So Ultimatum's been given, things like that. I realize, so Cappy is half Sri Lankan. His mother is from Sri Lanka. That's where his parents met. And, the first time I left the UK, she gave me a jar of her homemade curry spice. And I ended up forgetting that at the girls' place. I tried mending myself, and I guess I still forgot it. So I contact them, be like, hey, can you check, I grabbed it, could you check the pantry to see if my curry spice is there? And almost instantly, they're like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, we can check. And then oh, we found it, like that. We were instantly. And so almost immediately I messaged back, is it cool if I come pick it up, Tuesday morning? Immediately after they messaged me. Both of them online. Radio silence. Nothing. No response. So the next day, I add, you guys can just leave it in the mailbox and I can pick it up from there. Because I'm like, what, they just didn't want to, see me, face me, especially after the letter I left. I just wasn't, it was just, it's my curry spice, and I don't think they're going to use it anyways, so, can I have it? I'm not asking you guys to do anything, just, leave it in the mailbox if need be. And still silent. And then later that night, I was like, just leave it there, Monday night, and I'll pick it up Tuesday morning. And so later that night, because it was Monday when I was leaving that, I was like, yeah, okay, I left it in the mailbox now. And it was 24 hours after I had access in the first place, even though they had been online the entire time. And I know Hummingbird. Well, I give Hummingbird some benefit of that because, MS potentially has really bad days, sometimes can't focus at all. Fair. But she's home all day. And Kitty tends to be home all day, because she works from home. But it's also when I message Kitty a lot, it's like screaming into the void because she doesn't tend to respond often. So yeah, back at the family's place now. Basically I need it though, because I cook Thursdays, or maybe every other Thursdays. We're figuring it out. My mom's going to be doing it every other day, but people were assuring her to just not worry about cooking because she has so much other things on her plate, and I guess I'm okay with that, cooking once a week. But yeah, so, getting schedules from the family, like, Thursdays are your days you cook dinner, and then Wednesdays are your laundry days, things like that. Okay, cool. I love my niece and nephew. But it's just kind of like, it feels like a hostage situation every time I leave my room or try going from my room. Or just like, I feel like I'm a sneak thief. I gotta like make sure they don't notice me. Or like when they do notice me, I gotta be like, like try my best to like end the conversation politely in a way they understand. I tried going to the bathroom. And I even told them like, oh yeah, I need to use the restroom. And they just kind of stood there and in the bathroom doorway or inside the bathroom just chatting with me still, and I'm like, you don't understand privacy, do you? Because like she started telling me how to use the facilities. It was cute, but at the same time it's like, yeah, okay, thank you for telling me, now I can go do it, go on. And as she was telling me, she also she explained how to wipe myself, and she was also mentioning how one of my sisters wipes herself. And it made me realize that my sister and probably my mom and, her mom have let her, sit in the bathroom while using the bathroom. So she's used to the idea of it's okay for me to be in the bathroom while someone else is using it. So when I said, and then I went to, I was like, can I have some privacy to use the bathroom? And she kept on chatting still. And eventually I was able to usher her out. Today, oh no, today I left some, we'll say adult self-care products on my bed, and I was fully intending to wash them. Usually I'll leave a towel over them before I bring them to the bathroom to clean them. But what ended up happening was I needed to use the restroom, and I was going to do a bunch of cleaning up things. So I went to the restroom, and as I'm heading back, the restroom is literally a few steps away from my bedroom. I thought I was going to have more than enough time to get from the bathroom to my bedroom, especially since they were distracted. No, she sees me, and she comes up to me, and I've completely forgotten these self-care items are on my bed. And she's doing better though, because what would have happened when I first got here, the moment I opened my door, she would try to enter my room, open the door was an invitation for her to come in, and I was very good about keeping her out of it. I mean, it's not just me trying to be mean, it's I've got knives, I've got medication, I've got X, Y, or Z that she really shouldn't be getting into, that my nephew really shouldn't be getting into, because he's 2 and she's 4. And stuff I don't really want her breaking. Because it sounds like she's gone to as in her aunt, my sister, stuff, and broken some things, like her jewelry and stuff, or misplaced them. So I don't really want that happening. And I feel like I have every right to be sorry, you can't come in right now, at least. Definitely without my permission, without my supervision. But yeah, so she's doing better about that. She actually just stayed in she saw me going to my room from the bathroom, and it was they came up to me and was trying to chat with me and stood in my doorway. And I was like, oh yeah, I had a step ladder, one of those taller ladder, the short ladders, so it's not a step stool, but I had it over my shoulder, and I was I put it down, and there was oh yeah, I got to do some cleaning. She's like, what do you have to clean? I'm I gotta clean my room. There's some stuff on the floor, as you could see, and she's chatting with me from the doorway. I'm standing from the doorway. So she's doing good about respecting privacy and not coming in without permission and stuff. Maybe her parents talked to her about it when I was gone. I don't know. Or maybe she's kind of caught on. And things are normal. She's like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? And at one point when I moved, I guess I moved in a way that she could see these items. And she's like, oh, what's that? What's that purple and white thing over? What are those purple and white things over there? And at first I'm like, I point at other things, and then I realize what she's talking about, and I realized that it's just been sitting out in the open. And internally I'm like, but I very like calmly was like, okay honey, I gotta do some cleaning now, I'll talk to you later. I give her a kiss on the forehead and kind of like motion for her to get out, and then I close the door and lock it, and I'm just like, you fucked up to myself. Luckily though, it's like one of those things where I didn't make a big deal about it. I didn't like panic, at least not in front of her, where she's not going to fixate on it, and like kids her age especially, they just kind of forget and move on, especially if something else distracts them. Because she was asking about everything. Oh, what's that? What's that? What's that? So she's going to forget about that one little thing that she asked that I didn't say, because it wasn't like the only thing she asked about. So I was like, and I think she wouldn't be able to like describe what she saw to her mom, and I don't think she would have the need to anyways. But yeah, that was just like, I messed up bad moment, but luckily nothing's happened of it. Hopefully nothing does happen of it. I made this shirt. I might have shown it off already. No spoons, only knives. I'm probably going to tighten this, so it'll make the slits bigger and then tie it tighter. That's the point. It's supposed to be dangerous. Exciting. I'm sorry, my teeth are disgusting. My everything's disgusting, but there's lots of things on my face, on my head that are very disgusting right now. I don't know if I showed about how I had like, ooh, I'm so sorry. How I had like mostly green hair, and now you can see that I kind of got the rainbow back. I didn't dye this again. Basically what happening was the very first time I washed my hair after dyeing it with the new extensions is it came right out. And the theory is because when we first dyed my hair and put the extensions in, we dyed my hair first and then put the extensions, and we dyed the extensions separate and then we put it in. So it's possible that the soap from that ended up washing it out and stuff. And then the second, 2 out of 3 of the color extensions ended up coming out, and that's why we think that it might have been the dye, and that really cheap tape that was used for it, because once again after I dyed it, the second one falls out, and so that's why one of them is still kind of this vibrant reds and stuff, because it was dyed and it immediately came out. And I wasn't able to put it back in. I wasn't gonna bring a flat iron, a hair iron to the camp. But I ended up bringing hair dye unexpectedly. So what I'm probably going to do next is we've got spooky season coming up. So I'm probably gonna do some orange and purple and keep it Halloween colors. I was trying to make things a little more homely and just kind of personalized, and something I can also bring to my new place. I got myself some cosmetic things and useful, like utility things for my bathroom, and so they're kind of gothy, kind of spoopy. They're mostly like, some of the items are like stuff that you could probably, people would argue that you could only use during Halloween. I don't give a shit. I'm goth, I'm alternative, I'm whatever you want to call it. I'm not always goth. I used to joke that I was sweeto goth because I'm not always wearing goth fashion. But yeah, I'm gonna have it in my bathroom whenever the hell I want to. Deal with it. But yeah, I got some dish towels. There's 2 sinks in the bathroom. So one's gonna be like my designated dish sink, and the other one's my designated like hand washing, whatever, teeth brushing, normal bathroom stuff sink. And so I got dish towel next to the, dish sink, and then normal hand towels next to the normal sink. Because you guys all really care about what I'm doing to my bathroom. And you all really care about what's happening in my life. Cappy's birthday is coming up. Actually, it will be the day this is uploaded. And he doesn't really want anyone to acknowledge it or make a deal about it. He doesn't want to do anything to celebrate because he doesn't feel like he deserves to be celebrated. I'm like, bro, I want to celebrate you. I love you. But we might butt heads and you might do some infuriating things. But don't I? Don't we all? Maybe some of us more than others, but, you know, no one's perfect. But it's like, you mean a lot to me and I want to celebrate you. But I will respect your wishes and I just won't say anything on the day. However, expect something expect something to get something. I sent him, I don't know if I already said this in one of the videos, but I did send, it's a birthday card. It's a box that's shaped like a birthday card, and inside the box are slices of cake, and you can kind of either pick one of their pre-made designs, or you can put your own. So I put a picture from our first time celebrating our birthdays in person. I say our birthdays because my birthday is at the very end of July. Our anniversary is the very beginning of August, and his birthday is at the end of August. So we kind of did like a triple celebration when we got to meet in person last year. Meet again in person. It wasn't our first time meeting in person, but it was nice. Oh, 3 birthdays together. 3 years together. My sister texted me a couple weeks ago or a month ago, have you ever thought about doing 90 Day Fiancé? And first of all, I was just like, what is that? I'm sorry, what? And then I looked it up and saw that it was a reality TV show, and I'm just like, Cappy's not ready for marriage, and we probably should both be figuring out our financial situations before we do that. Like, I'm okay with it, at least to get that citizenship. Like, we can get that legal part out of the way, and I can still just kind of work and support myself while I'm here, and then eventually move over there. But like, for actually like us settling down together, I don't know if we're quite per se ready for that. I'd like to have a job first. I'm working on it. Actually, I'm working on it. I'm not trying to mooch off unemployment. I'm actually trying to work on getting a job. Spirit Halloween just won't contact me back, even though I've looked for those bastards. And I was doing this. They loved me at my locations. I say locations because I was helping all the stores in my area. That's how much they liked me. They had me help every single... I set up 2 of the stores. I was doing errands for the other 2 stores. And even the general manager, the only person that's not using the store, saw me and saw all my hard work and all my stuff and wanted to make me a assistant manager or manager, but because I was going to be moving before the season was over, they couldn't do that. But I was still doing like manager stuff, like training people and things like that. Like, sometimes I would know more than the actual assistant managers. And yet none of the ones in this area even want to give me a call back or call to interview. Even though I could put on my resume, yeah, I've worked for you guys before. Also, I ended up applying for Halloween City. Be like, yeah, I've worked for Halloween stores before. Hire me. I'm mostly working for temp work because I don't know where I'll be located, so I don't really want to go somewhere that's going to be permanent, and then have to just, bye, you know? My friend actually has, the person I'm mainly planning on moving with, might actually have found a location. They're only still doing the interview process, so there's no like yes or no, but it's going to be an hour away from here, so I will be moving a bit if that works out. However, the place is 30% cheaper than the rest of my state. That would be phenomenal. Like, I was like, we wanted to stay here because this is cheaper than like where we grew up and where like he just moved from. But then like finding out that area is super cheap. It's mostly it's a university that he's potentially going to be working at. It's going to be a temp position, but hopefully they'll renew the contract. And that's it. The weirdest part about it, though, is that's where Hummingbird was just working. I don't know if she's still working there because they might have let her go because she missed too much. she's practically not worked there for almost a year now because of, like, she practically has been on disability, on medical leave for so long that they're probably going to let her go, which is sad. Like, despite everything that's happened, I don't wish ill. I like to joke about, like, TPing their house or egging their house. Mostly TP, like, just putting a roll of toilet paper, like, on their cars, not actually doing anything. Though I wouldn't be opposed to doing that to the new partner who lives in the same town I'm currently living in. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic? I have their address. I wouldn't really. Don't think I would. I'm working on getting my permit. I had an appointment. It was like after my therapy appointment, and I ended up being late. So much so that they couldn't give me the test. They let me do everything else, like the paying for it and photos and blah 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 blah. But I wasn't able to actually, like, do the test because, like, by the time that was all completed, it was exactly the cutoff time for test. So, like, okay, come back later. So hopefully I do come back this week that I'm recording this. I'll put in the description if I actually did go. The problem is, I've had my permit multiple times, like 2 or 3 times now. And then they went and expired because no one sat down to try teaching me how to drive. Like, I had a couple times that I did. The very first person to give me a driving lesson was actually one of my friends. So it's really funny when my family's like, oh, you don't take initiative for it. I'm like, bro, you guys weren't even the first people to give me a driving lesson, but you did for all my other, for all my sisters. So, like, it had been a couple years between, like, my first permit and the second permit. And my mom had just expected me to be able to drive perfectly. Like, okay, we're going to drive from our house all the way to Costco. And I'm like, no, we are not. And my baby niece was in the car. She was still like a baby at the time. And I was like, no, I am not driving from here to there whilst there's a baby on board. Like, I've only ever driven with one person in the car and then 4 people in the car and a baby at that. I'm like, no, we're driving around the neighborhood. And that's it. I haven't driven for 2 years, and I've never even driven. I had a few times where I would drive to my ex-fiancé's place, but that's like it. So it was like, nope, no, we are not doing that. I do actually have a car, and I'm only going to be paying $1 for it, because my mom has to legally say that she sold it when she lets the DMV touch insurance now. So she's only going to charge me $1 for it. I think she's not actually expecting me to give her the $1. I'm going to give her the $1. And I already have, like, little, like, magnet with bumper stickers and stuff I want to put on it that I got ages ago when I thought I was going to get my license. Hopefully I passed the permit test on the first try. I was practicing all last week. Okay, I've probably blabbed enough. I don't think there's anything else I want to say. I really want to get back on doing videos. I really want to get back on track with life. I need to edit things. I need to record voice acting. I have a lot of things I need to do that I hope I will be inspired or motivated or not exhausted to do. So yeah, hopefully the quality on this was much better with that, and hopefully this worked out. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a gay day. Sorry. Don't ask me what that was. It's spoopy season.
Well, they're glad that you stayed, yet you wasted yet another day. Their videos are a bore, but they've got lots more in store. It's Deranged, Royal Fae. Yeah.